I thought we wanted to teach love is love. Kink and love are not mutually exclusive. As we know in the LGBT community, which has a history of non monogamous relationships. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. As you can see, I'm not in my usual studio. I'm visiting family. This is my studio while I'm gone. So let's talk about kink at Pride. Before we do, let's make sure you click that subscribe button down below. Support the channel. Thank you. So, kink at Pride. My belief is that you can have kink at Pride or you can have kids at Pride. You can't have both. Now, like Atlanta, our Pride is more of a festival, and it is more of a family atmosphere. You really don't see much kink, if you see kink at all, unless it's at the after party. And at that point, by all means, do you, boo, right? I thought this was actually a pretty common view, but no. So a friend of mine just sent me an article from the Washington Post. The Washington Post, y'all. And the title is, Yes, Kink belongs at Pride, and I want my kids to see. Okay, Grimmer. So the author's name is Lauren Rowello. As you see in her bio, she's a former sex worker, which as a libertarian, that's neither here nor there. That doesn't bug me. But she also writes for a number of left-wing news organizations. Now, she wrote this article, and the tweet that was with that article, well, let's just say it's getting a healthy ratio right now at the time of filming this. So in the article, she starts off talking about taking her kids to Pride, and tells the story about when they stopped and they sat down, they see a BDSM float coming down the road. And so she describes it. Just as we settled, our elementary schooler pointed in the direction of oncoming floats, raising an eyebrow at a bare-chested man in dark sunglasses, whose black suspenders clipped into a leather thong. The man paused to be spanked playfully by a partner with a flog. What are they doing, my curious kid asks, as our toddler cheered them on. The pair was the first of a few dozen kinksters who danced down the street, laughing together as they twirled their whips and batons, some leading companions by leashes. At the time, my children were too young to understand the nuances of the situation, but I told them the truth, that these folks were members of our community celebrating who they are and what they do. Seriously, you want your kids to see this? Like, what they're forgetting at the end is that this is what they do in the bedroom, right? It should be celebrating what they do in the bedroom. I mean, we wouldn't allow this same type of indecency if it was from a straight couple. So why are we in the LGBT community accepting it from our couples and pushing it off as this is normal, this is what Pride is all about? Because that is not what Pride is about. So the writer goes on to talk about understanding what expression in the relationship, and this is kind of where she explains it again. As much as I want them to spend time in queer spaces so they can be with families like their own, I also want them to know that they shouldn't limit their understanding of what relationship expressions look like to whatever's most familiar. I want them to see that they can make their own ways in the world and know that they'll be supported and celebrated by their community. If we want our children to learn and grow from their experiences at Pride, we should hope that they'll encounter kink when they attend. How else can they learn about the scope and the vitality of queer life. The scope and vitality of queer life, what the fuck is that? I thought we wanted to teach love is love. Kink and love are not mutually exclusive. As we know in the LGBT community, which has a history of non monogamous relationships. And again, kinks are not exclusive to the queer community. They happen in straight couples too, right? So why is this an expression of only in a pride parade? Now she goes on to say that the most latest objections are from the queer community themselves. And basically it's because of self-hatred and wanting to fit in with heteronormativity. No, bitch. It's because they know how harmful it is to talk about sex to children that young. So the next thing is really, it starts to even get worse. So just, again, brace yourself. So the next line is, children who witness kink culture are reassured that alternative experiences of sexuality and expression are valid no matter who they become as they mature, helping them recognize that their personal experiences aren't bad or wrong and that they aren't alone in their experiences. No, kink is not a sexuality. Kink is sexual pleasure, okay? So then she says, kink visibility is a reminder that any person can and should shamelessly explore what brings joy and excitement. And I honestly think this might be the most disturbing line of the entire article. It says, we don't talk to our children enough about pursuing sex to fulfill carnal needs that delight and captivate us in the moment. I mean, we don't talk to our kids enough about sex and carnal needs. I mean, we should be talking to our kids about sex when they hit puberty and how to protect themselves and everything else like that. I mean, this is crazy to me that we're talking toddlers. I mean, this really, it takes everything to just a completely whole new level. I mean, and this is from the Washington Post. The Washington Post. I mean, if this is what is being promoted as gaining acceptance, I really do fear for our youth, especially the youth in the LGBT community. I mean, kids don't need to know about sex. This goes back to the point of what me and Lauren talked about last week. Love is love. And how that has never been seen as harmful messaging, but then you look at it in the eyes of a pedophile or a zoophile saying love is love, because to them that is love. Kinks are not love either. I mean, this takes it to a completely different step from what we talked about even just as of last week. And you know, I kind of half expected to read this article thinking that it was clickbait, that the article wasn't as bad as the headline would have you believe. But no, it was worse. And I guess I should have expected it coming from a left-leaning organization. I just thought the Washington Post had a little bit more class than that, for lack of a better term. But anyways, let me know what you thought of this video, what you thought of this this article. And make sure you click the subscribe button and tune in for some more videos as we get rolling with some more. And maybe make some suggestions as what you would like to see more of in these videos. Make sure you like and subscribe and share these videos to your friends. Thank you.